use of company time and resources requires good common sense and the ability to see the big picture. The best gauge for whether or not an outside activity or use of company resources is a conflict is to ask two questions: who primarily benefits and who pays for it? If the activity benefits you and the company is subsidizing it, then it's probably a conflict of interest. You have to be honest with yourself and be able to judge fairly what influences are compromising your good ethics at work. Here are some general guidelines for outside employment. First, the bottom line is this: personal business may not be done on company time. Any outside activity, such as second jobs or self-employment, must be completely separate from your company work. Second, your outside business cannot conflict or interfere with your regular responsibilities or duties. Customers and colleagues from your outside business should not contact you at work. Your sole responsibility at work is to give your full-time attention to your job. Third, you should not use company equipment or tools for your outside job, ever. Your second job may provide a conflict of interest if your time and company resources are subsidizing the activity. Fourth, you must not work for any company suppliers, contractors, customers, or competitors without prior full disclosure. Your part-time job must not aid a competitor in any way. Fifth, you cannot compete with any company product or service in any way. Sixth, you must be certain that information you use is not company proprietary information. Do not use any confidential or inside information for your second job. Due to very serious possible consequences, you are not permitted to work for or act as a consultant for company competitors or suppliers. You should not accept any compensation from any competitor or supplier without written approval from the company. Outside consulting, for either company contractors or as an independent consultant, can also pose a conflict of interest because such activities may compromise the company's intellectual property, trade secrets, or confidential information. Outside consulting can also pose a conflict of interest because it can put the employee in the position of directly competing with the company. If a competitor, supplier, vendor, contractor, or customer asks you to do any work or consulting, you should notify your ethics office, HR manager, or company legal counsel immediately. Keep in mind that if you use the services or products offered by company suppliers or contractors for personal business, you are expected to pay market value for services and materials provided. Be sure to disclose in advance this type of personal relationship to management. Here are some guidelines for using company time and resources. First, time is money. You are expected to devote 100% of your time at work to your employer. You should avoid using company time, resources, or other employee services for outside activities. Examples include making phone calls, using email and the internet, using company office equipment or photocopy machines, seeing your customers and clients while on company time, using a company car, truck, or work van, using company paper toner or small office supplies, using company property even after hours. Some activities may be permissible during lunches or breaks, but the company maintains the right to regulate or limit the activity as it sees fit. You should avoid engaging in any company business or transactions with a relative by blood or marriage, or with a firm where a relative is a principal officer or representative. Family members include your spouse, parents, siblings, children, and in-laws. A conflict of interest can be created when a family member works for a supplier, a customer, or a competitor, or if a family member has a significant financial interest in a supplier, customer, or competitor. Also be careful if a family member receives gifts or benefits offered by a supplier, customer, or competitor. If you suspect a conflict of interest, disclose the situation to your management. When it comes to financial conflicts of interest, your investments in competitors, vendors, or suppliers may pose a conflict if you are not careful. This is known as having a significant financial interest. If you or any of your family members own more than a certain percentage of a supplier or competitor, it may pose a significant financial conflict because you may personally benefit from any business with them. Although the dollar amount is quite high for most people and is usually a problem for owners or executives, you should be aware of what the limits are and where you stand with regard to your investments and relationships. Sometimes, your outside volunteer work or selling products to coworkers can cause a conflict of interest. In general, some forms of volunteer work may be done on company time if you seek approval from your supervisor. But keep in mind that the company is not under any obligation to subsidize your volunteer work, such as mileage, salary, or expenses in any way. When it comes to selling products to coworkers, you should not promote products or services from your outside business to employees at your regular job during working hours. Examples include cosmetics, insurance, personal care products, plastic containers, food items, or multi-level marketing systems. You should not use company mail, bulletin boards, or computers to promote your services to employees. Your company may make an exception for the occasional sale of products for charity, but you should ask for permission from management first. Examples of these sorts of charitable sales include cookies, candy, gift wrapping, or raffle tickets that support nonprofits, scouts, or children's sports teams. Remember, if you sell products for charity in your workplace, purchasing must be voluntary, and no one should ever feel pressured to purchase a product.